Hello. So we are here to learn about physics. Now the point is, before learning about physics, we should know where physics stands in the field of science. Even before learning science, we should understand where we stand in the entire universe. So a famous scientist, Carl Sagan, once famously said that in the entire universe, we live on the surface of a very insignificant pale blue dot, and inside that pale blue dot, whatever we do in our daily lives, whatever love, whatever hatred, whatever politics we do, is very insignificant in front of the entire universe. Now the very millions of years ago, when the universe started growing and then the human beings came on the surface of the earth, so they started wondering about how the stars and the planets move around in the sky. And as time grew, when they came into agriculture, they started wondering how to make the plants grow better seeds. So they had to understand how the stars and the planets, how the seasons affects the agriculture. So they had to start studying about the sky, about when the seasons change. And due to these wanderings, they started finding if there are any patterns there. As time evolved and human beings started thinking, and there a subject called philosophy started emerging, where they started talking about logic. People used to argue with each other logically. And with more evolving time, this basic idea of logic and this wondering about the universe around us started developing into something called natural philosophy. Now, natural philosophy was a very vast subject. It used to cover everything from thinking about the universe to how the motion of a wheel works. Now, with time, people started understanding very basic concepts of how much amount of force to give to make a wheel work, or maybe how much of rainfall is required in a particular season to make a crop grow. These things were becoming so vast in natural philosophy that people had to divide them into parts like biology, physics, chemistry. But honestly, the mother of all science is physics. If I have to justify the statement, I would say your heart, when it has to pump blood, the arteries or the ventricles, they have to have a particular amount of thickness so that the pressure they give can pump the entire blood in the entire body. Also, if I go into chemistry, so when the bonds are being formed, the amount of force between the two molecules or the two ions, these are all determined by their charges. So everywhere, in every subject we see, physics has the main role to play. But since natural philosophy was getting very vast, they had to divide it into separate parts. The part that consists of living organisms was called biology. The part that is about inorganic substances mainly was divided into chemistry. And the part that talks about the laws of how these subjects relate to each other was called physics. Now the point is that where does physics stand today? After thousands of years of thinking and logical thinking, evolution, reasoning, physics today is the study of energy. What do I mean by that? Basically, there are 4 or 5 forms of energy that we see in our everyday lives. There is sound energy, there is light energy, there is electrical energy, there is nuclear energy. Okay.